Hey guys, hope you're going well today. So I am chatting about some of the some of the movies and television that I have been watching in the month of January. These are generally bits and pieces, extras, and things that I'm not going to do self-contained reviews on. Just a way to come on and just let you know what's been going on. So to start off, I got to see the movie Into the Woods with the glorious Meryl Streep. This is a comedy fantasy musical, and if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that musicals aren't really my thing. Overall, I thought this was kind of a really cool little movie, quite dark in a lot of places, and it was more based on the Grimm fairy tales, the brothers Grimm, as opposed to any of the Disney fairy tales. And it was cool to see all these great fairy tale characters that you know and love from your childhood all in one universe. So there's Rapunzel, there's Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, there's Red Riding Hood and Johnny Depp as the big bad wolf, who is, you know, kind of cool in a very pedophilic type of way. I just don't know where the audience is for it. It's quite a dark movie, so it's not for kids at all, but then it's a little bit light and a bit of fluff for adults. So I think that you're only going to really get into this if you're a fan of the stage musical. To go away from something light, I saw something very dark and traumatic, and that was American Sniper, the Clint Eastwood movie. I was actually going to do a full, standalone review on this, but I got really scared to talk about it. I feel like it's extremely sensitive. It's really interesting about a soldier's psychological state going on tour in Iraq and what one has to do to serve one's country and that inner battle that you go through. And Bradley Cooper is unrecognizable as this Texan cowboy with a really thick accent. I could barely understand him actually. And I mean, it's the psychology behind what a soldier has to mentally go through was fascinating. But as a whole, the movie had a lot of bias. I just find it really difficult to discuss because there are things that I want to say, but I don't want to be insensitive. So What We Do in the Shadows is a movie I had wanted to see for ages. It is a quirky New Zealand black comedy mockumentary movie about vampires, written, directed and starring one half of Flight of the Conchords, who are a great comedy duo out of New Zealand. That's Jermaine Clement, and co-directed, co-written by Taika Waititi. And it is just really tongue-in-cheek, silly funny, but in a really refreshing way. Like, it's something you've never seen before, and that's a hard thing to say. You can see that it's low budget, but they've spent the money in the right places with just a few speckled through really effective special effects. And it's just hilarious about these three vampire flatmates who live together in a share house, and they're vampires and they're hundreds of years old, and they just have to go through what every normal share house situation has to go through with, people not getting along with each other, people not doing the dishes, just friends coming over. And of course they're vampires, so who they can and cannot kill. And I was actually laughing out loud. I thought it was really good. Then to go from that fantasy to another fantasy, magic realism, the movie Horns with Daniel Radcliffe. Now, I think post Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe has done some really great work, but this movie Horns is like ridiculous. It's some of the worst screenwriting that I've probably seen in ages. In the movie, he's being accused of his girlfriend's murder, and it's set in small town America, and he goes on this journey to figure out, because he claims his innocence, but everyone in the town is against him. So, that concept in itself is really interesting, and he goes through the town and, trying to find out who did it. But the horror was so overdone and overblown, it felt like snakes on a plane. That's a shame, because the scenery was just beautiful, the cinematography was amazing, the special effects were really great, like really well done as well. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe has got these like two horns jutting out of his head, and it looked really great and effective in this magic realism kind of way. Like people can see them, some people can't see them. What does that mean? What does that represent? He's like becoming this demon and he's got some powers, but yeah, no, it was just, ugh, it was awful. A classic movie which I watched this month was Alfred Hitchcock's Strangers on a Train, and this one was one I've been wanting to see for ages. I've tried to see all of Hitchcock's work, and just when I think I've nearly seen all of it, there's like other titles that I haven't seen. So this was one that had been on my list for ages. I put an Instagram post of it up and I asked you guys what your favorite Hitchcock movie was, and most of you said Rear Window, which I do love. Also Vertigo was right up there with one of the top picks. I personally love the movie Spellbound. That's one of my favorites because I like that psychoanalytical dream interpretive view in a mystery, and I think that movie's really great. Strangers on a Train is an absolute classic, and it's a little bit more dialogue heavy than I was hoping for, but these two guys, they meet on a train. They're complete strangers and they both have people in their lives that are in their way of moving forward. So one guy suggests to the other guy that the perfect way to get away with murder would be if they traded murders and did each other's murder. Therefore, the police would never suspect their motive because they don't even know the person that they've killed. And yeah, it's an interesting concept, and it's a really good movie. And yeah, Hitchcock classic, always love. Onto a bit of television that I've been watching. I have started watching The Americans. I had heard so much about this, and I think they're up to season 3 maybe already. I can't even remember. Yeah, it must be season 3, and I've only just started. So I've watched the first 3 episodes and love Kerry Russell, but it's kind of moving a little bit slowly. I don't know. There's so much great television out there. I don't know if I have time to spend to marathon and binge watch it all to catch up to season 3, because that's the main reason that I want to catch up, because I've been seeing everybody talking about this new season. Broadchurch season 2. I love Broadchurch so much. A UK show, and in its 2nd season, I think we're up to maybe episode 4 now. I've been watching that week by week as it's being released, and it is David Tennant. I love, this was one of my top shows from last year, the first season, season 1. Mystery, small town in the UK, the scenery is gorgeous. They're trying to find out this killer. Well, this is the first season actually. In the first season, they're trying to find the killer of this young boy who's been murdered, and everyone in the town is a suspect, and you're gonna get to know everybody in the town, different motives, everyone's got something to hide. It was just done so well. The first season just blew me away, and now the 2nd season has gone in a completely different direction. I thought with this new season 2 that they would rehash the same thing, because you've got all your same characters, right? So I just thought it would be a new murder and something else that these detectives are investigating, but actually they've gone a whole new way with it, and I am loving it so much. Cool, so they are some of the things that I have been watching this month. As always, there's more. Yeah, but they're just a few bits and pieces that I wanted to share with you guys today. So yeah, let me know what you've been watching, what I need to see, especially with television. Have you been watching The Americans? Let me know if I should keep going with that, because I'm kind of too early into the series to really know if I'm invested in it and really know if I'm going to really commit to it, because so far it's interesting, but yeah, I don't know, I'm not really like into it. But yeah, let me know if you're watching it. Leave me comments in the comment section down below, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.